Hi and welcome to another tutorial to learn Maya basics. And today we will model this desk lamp and we will just start with creating a new project. Okay, so I have your Maya opened. Go to File, Project window, create a new project, desk lamp. And select a folder where to save it. Okay, accept. Then get the images from the Teams folder. So I provided you the lamp with all the views in separate files. So take the files, copy it to your project, and where I have it, desk lamp, and copy it to your source images folder. That's important that you have your project with the images right there so that everything is connected perfectly. Okay, then I save here my scene so I can check if my project is already set. So save scene as. My Maya goes automatically in my desk lamp scenes folder, so that's perfect. So you shouldn't change anything, and say desk lamp number 1. Save as. Okay. Then I prepare my image planes. I go to the top view. That's important that you load the images in the right views. Then go to View, Image Plane, Import Image. And now Maya is already jumping into the right folder in the source images. And here I have my lamp top. Okay. Then I switch to the front view. View, Image Plane, Import Image, Front, Open. And go to the side view, View, Image Plane, the side. So now I check in my view if everything is correct. So what I do is I take my image planes here and I have to rearrange them. Here, for example, I want my desk lamp to be here on the floor and the middle should be nearly in the middle. And also I do this with this image, that I check if I have here the middle line. And what you should also check is that the bottom and the side view are fitting each other. That means I push my side view. Now you see it's connected. And also I'll do this with the side view. Just push it into the middle and pull it up. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it should fit quite well. So push it up a little more, and now, yeah, this looks good. And actually, I don't want my image planes in here in the middle where I want to build my project. So what you can do, you just push your images actually here out of the way. Okay, so because that's a lot more easier. So I have my views are perfectly correct, but I just put them back. You could also hide them. I also like this version, so you open up your attributes. Actually, it should be, yeah, I want them here in my view. And when I select an image, I can also say look through camera, that I just see it through the side view and not through the perspective. So if you want this version, you can also do this. Just get your images somewhere out of the way and keep it in your views. Okay, so then we start right into the modeling. We will model each part of the lamp separately, so when we have different materials, this will be a different object. Okay, so we start here with the bottom, and we just take a cylinder and the first thing I want to do is the black rubber base. So then just scale it up that it has the thickness, the right one. And then you see it in the 3 mode. This is too round, so you can insert some edge loops here. Here and here. Much better. So it gets a little, yeah, okay. Then build another cylinder, because now we build the blue base, and for this it is important before you scale it, I want here on the bottom to have a subdivision. So open up, just close my attribute editor, open up the channel box here and go to subdivision caps, and actually 2 are enough for the first part. And you can also actually do a subdivision in the height if you want, so but that's not necessary. And now you can adjust the height actually also here, or you just scale it down, it doesn't matter. So just see that you get the right size. Always be careful that you don't scale here in the side view, because then it happens that you scale it in an egg shape. So always be aware that you take here the middle light blue handle, and so to make it a little bit higher. Oh, I rotated it a little bit back to 0. So it's just a little bit smaller, and go to the 3 mode. Here on the top I need the rounder form, but at the bottom it's too round, so I just take the edge loop, I just insert it, or insert yourself an edge loop, and for example take the vertices and I just push them inside the other geometry. So actually it's still too round. I don't want this to be that round. So what I do, so check mode, I actually insert another edge loop here, and this does only work when you have this subdivision inserted in the beginning. otherwise the insert edge loop won't work. So insert edge loop. So I also put another one, no, not here, but here, so that my edge is getting really sharp here at the bottom, and now I can push it here inside, and now this looks much better. So the reason why I inserted here another edge loop in the top is that I need that for this little part here, okay? And for that, I take these edge loops. Of course, I also selected the one at the bottom, but I don't care about that. Then I scale them. And I go here to the top view, but I don't see where the button already, the button is. So I switch on my X-ray mode that I can see through the geometry a little bit. And now I take my, oops. The scaling down was not so fine. So I think it's because I selected it in the bottom. Now I destroyed actually through the scaling my geometry. So what you can do is, for example, go to the faces and select paint select here. And with the B key and the middle mouse button, you can scale the brush of the paint selection. And now you can select very easily the faces here. So now I scale them. You see here the line. This is the one from the bottom side. So don't be afraid that there's another ring here. So now I can, and don't be scared of this kind of geometry now. Just scale it a little bit more. Oh, actually I have to turn my view because the position here is a little bit different. What means I have to turn my top view 90 degrees. And reposition it. So. I'll select my faces here again. Go back to the middle and now see if, yeah. Now it has here the correct position. It's a little bit hard to see where it should actually be placed. But now I do an extrude and see if I got my position here and my size. It's not perfect. I will tune it later on and do another extrusion and then switch to the normal scale mode and scale the ring down, because actually I want to create a hole where this chrome part will actually be placed in afterwards, and do another extrusion and push it inside. Okay, so that we just create a little bit of a hole. And now I tune my size a little bit, so just take the vertices. Be sure that you take all of the circle, and I scale it a little bit more and also reposition it that it's exactly along the line, and also push it here a little bit more inside, so now it fits my image. So when I go to the 3 mode, it's of course way too rounded, and so get some edge loops in here, and I do an edge loop here and here and on the outside here and here. See what happens. Not too bad. So that's my first part. Save your scene. And we'll go right into the next part. So build another cylinder, and this will be here, that part. And so let's check. I scale the thickness. Maybe I have to set my hole also a little bit. Yeah. So we will model it straight and then bend it afterwards. I think so. We have to build it a little bit higher, that it could, I think, here around maybe 42 could then be quite nice. And we will build our subdivisions here manually, because here we need a special subdivision part, and I just push my geometry a little bit to the side, because I need actually my edge loops on the positions here and somewhere here. So I go to insert edge loop. I insert an edge loop here, and somewhere when I see, okay, here I have 1 or 2 centimeters with no rings, so I just put another edge loop around here, and also here at the very beginning and at the quite bottom. And if I counted correctly, I have 34 rings actually here, and we will create actually doubled number of edge loops here. So go to Insert Edge Loops and open up the options. And now actually I can't do 68 because Maya doesn't allow. You see, it jumped back to 50 and it doesn't allow actually more than 50. So I do it with a little trick. You have multiple edge loops on and say number of edge loops 1. So this will actually insert one edge loop exactly in the middle. And now I do 34 on one side, on the other side. And now I have my 68 edge loops. And close up this one. And what you do now, this will a little bit tricky in selection. I select every second ring. So, and then go to extrude. And now scroll to the position where the manipulator appears, because it is important now to don't go to the scale mode and scale it. You have to do it in the second where this manipulator comes up, and then you select the arrow which is going away, and you have to push it here inside. Okay, so every part goes perfectly to the inside, and because I don't want to do all the edge loops afterwards, I do this in steps. So I just push it a little bit inside, okay? Then do another extrude, push it even more so that it gets actually the shape. Then do another extrude and just push it a little bit. So that's the reason why I did this, is to get the edge loops. Okay, when I now go to the 3 mode, I have automatically more or less sharp edges. Okay, see it, and then it should look like this. Now I have my rippled part here. Then I push it here inside again. I think it's not too bad. And now the tricky part is we'll begin to bend it. And now we have to switch here the menu to animation, because we now need a deformer. And we find, so first of all, select your part here in the object mode, then go to deform, nonlinear bend. Okay, so maybe you don't see anything, but now inside this geometry, you got actually a green line. Okay, and you see it open up the channel box. It should open up here, and when, for example, I put the curvature here to that you see it, I just put it to 10. See what happens? It is bending, and when I do it here with the middle mouse button, I can bend my whole geometry. Okay, so now it bends, of course, in the wrong direction, and it also bends here in the bottom, so I don't like this. So the first thing I do is I put the low bound to 0, okay? And then I have to, you see that the green line, it should be selected, and you have to rotate it, okay? I rotate it here 90 degree in the y-axis, minus 90, and now it is bending in the right direction. Okay, and I activate here my bend again, and now I check my curvature and the position, because when I move also the position, I can say where the bending starts, and actually I want to bend it here, and the curvature itself, oops, the curvature I think it was not too bad, my size here. I'm happy here with 86. And now I have perfectly bent form without any troubles. Of course, I can shorten this here a little bit at the end. Just be careful that you don't deform your geometry too much. Oops. Actually, because the deformer is still working, okay, my repositioning doesn't work. So when you are happy with your bending, go to the object mode and then edit delete by type history. Now the bend handle goes away and I can move around my my part here without any troubles. Otherwise it may deform or something. So, and when I now want to short it, yeah, this works. Good. That's the first part. And what I also do here on the bottom is, because it doesn't fit quite well, I have to scale here the inside a little bit more. What you can do, for example, I take one face here on the inside, press Shift and double click one next to it, and then I press the arrows at the keyboard, which actually activates grow or shrink my selection. So these are the shortcuts, grow or shrink. That means actually I want to grow my selection. So when I press Shift and the arrow, you see here that my selection just grow. And then I can take, so the whole ring is selected actually. And now I scale my ring on the inside a little bit more and push my geometry a little bit to the side so that it fits. Yeah. So, not perfect, but quite okay.